Okay, we are back after a long break, and unfortunately, we also lost the recording for the last episode. I tried to record. I didn't try to record. It accidentally recorded in 4K, and like the recording got corrupted. So we are missing some progress. But I'll quickly explain what we did. We got out of the open market, and we are no longer able to talk to Byron Pickett. But we are trying to investigate any shady dealings he has done, because he is selling off one of uh, a wife of one of the people who he loaned money to. The money was paid back apparently, but the wife is missing the documents to prove that. So he took the wife to court, and now the wife is being sold. Okay, so we went on and talked to the wife Trist, who is present here. But before that, I think we talked to a person named Anasi here, and she was like coughing and wheezing, and like she was almost dying. And we were provided with an opportunity to either kill her mercifully, or like ask him to be make it painful, or just do nothing. And it seemed like that quest was going nowhere, so we decided to kill her mercifully, and Dakon did that. And we got a copper earring from her. I think that copper earring is still with us. Then we went on to talk to went on to this platform here, which is a auction platform. And there was a person named I think it was Darren or Daron. I forgot the exact name. Maybe it's in our journal. I'm not too sure, but we can check. Daran. I talked to Daran, the auctioneer, about Trist. I told him that I intended to find proof of her innocence, and he agreed not to auction her for now. So there is Trist standing here, and she has asked us to champion her. She seemed like she's in a bit of trouble. She said that if she gets sold off, she'll be forced to work as a slave, right? But the thing is that slaves won't be able to, like, it's not slave, it's indentured labor, that's what they called it. But they won't be able to afford medical care, or like healers or things like that. And this place is very like unhealthy place to live in, right? There's this smog, or like this fog coming in, which is infecting everyone. And she's saying that she won't be able to afford a healer if she does that, and she'll die off. And she wants us to champion her. But she was like, even she was not suspicious of Byron Pickett, but we floated the idea that Byron Pickett might have stolen her documents. And then I don't know how it ended, but essentially we have taken that quest up. I don't know if there's an actual quest here, but we are supposed to. Yeah, there it is. Find Triss loan documents. Triss is to be sold in slavery because she cannot prove she paid a debt to Byron Pickett. I have agreed to try and find her loan documents in order to free her. Okay. So we took up that quest, and we are supposed to go to the southeast area here, which also seemed to be the area where Mort is being held. Possibly this house or somewhere here. That's the place where the king of, like, master of bonds or king of bonds, I think master of bonds, resides. And that information was specifically provided by this person Daran. And what happened after that, it was kind of another unfortunate incident. There was another individual named Yimin. Yimin, I think that was his name, and that was a Githyanki. That person was a Githyanki, while Dakon is a Gitsarai, and they are like sworn rivals or something. They're clans, and we like, Dakon warned us that we shouldn't talk to this person, but we went ahead and talked to Yimin anyway. What happened was they ended up fighting, and we tried to stand in our way, but eventually there was no option to. We either had to attack him or let Dakon attack him. So we chose Dakon to attack him, and we joined the fight. And at that point, this was the most frustrating thing in the game so far. Everyone around here aggroed to us. There are 2 Harmonium guards here, right? There were 2 here too. Here also. In addition to Daran, there were 2 Harmonium guards here. They aggroed. A bunch of other Githyanki soldiers came from the side. Like, I went ahead with that fight thinking that this Imin is like a single person who's just standing here. We can just deal with him. But what happened was the other 2 Harmonium officers, as well as a bunch of Githyankis, like, swarmed us. And Githyankis were like easy enough to deal with. We could kill them easily. But these Harmonium guards were like really tough. They would kill us in like 3 or 4 hits, and we won't do enough damage at that point. And we don't have a tank also. We don't have Mort with us. So Dakon and Anna died. They both died here. Their dead bodies were here. We ran away, and then later like circled around to like raise both of them. and it was just a whole mess. Okay, it was just a very frustrating situation. We ended up killing everyone. That's why no one is present. Like both Harmonian guards are gone, and like the Githyangi is also gone. Then we went to the hive and like rusted. That's why all of our health is back. We lost a lot of healing items, and just overall like a very frustrating combat experience. So in that sense, I am kind of glad that episode got destroyed because I was quite frustrated throughout. But yeah, at the end of it, we went to Hive and we discovered that we can use the map to travel to any location now. So if I go to this area, so I went back to Hive to sleep, right? Because I don't know where in this area we have a inn, so I had to go back. It's probably somewhere here we can rest. I forgot where it was, or I didn't discover it yet. But yeah, I went back and realized that we can click on things to like move around. We can't go to this hive. I don't know why, but we can go to any of these other hive. This hive is like basically the mortuary, right? So I don't know why they won't let us teleport here. Every location, like every other faraway location, we can teleport to, and even Clerkswar. So both of these places have both these places have opened up now. Clerkswar also opened up. So yeah, so we went back, rested in one of the hive locations. I think it was in the vermin control office, and then we came back, and that's where we are currently. So our objective today is just to head to the building here and climb down the ladder. And I don't know if there's a ladder. I think there's a ladder. Everyone has been saying that there's like a broken building and there's like a ladder that we can climb down to reach the domain of the Master of Bonds. So that's what we're gonna do. And Lenny, right? There's another. Okay, we were standing right outside, right outside this gate, and we can see this another person named Lenny here. And I think Byron Pickett also already mentioned his name. There are like two ways people lose money in this place. One is by like giving it to merchants, and the other is just like getting pickpocketed or like getting stolen from. So Lenny is like the leader of thieves. That's what Byron Pickett mentioned. And Lenny was also present in one of the hearings that Byron Pickett was attending when Trist was present. So overall, yeah, things are like that. And inside this open market, we also talked to this Harmonian guard inside, right here, like inside the market. He also gave us some information about Byron Pickett, that he's probably doing some shady things. And we are to talk to Lenny now, and we hopefully will get some information on the documents. Okay, so let's go ahead, and once we talk to him, unless we get something crucial, we are just going to go ahead and head down here, okay, and try to find more. All right, so that's the recap. You see a feral-looking young man in shoddy clothes. His eyes dart about as he scans his surroundings. He notices you approach and begins eyeing you warily. Greetings. He looks you up and down, then glances about, returning his attention to you. He gives you a wicked grin. You'd best have a good reason for disturbing Lenny, Burke. I have some questions. Okay. He laughs at you. I ain't not out. If you've got questions, go find one. His smile broadens. You best push off before I have to bleed you. What if I told you Byron Pickett sent me? He stops smiling and examines you for a while. His eyes linger on your scars and he swallows slightly. After a moment, a frown settles on his face and he appears to be nervous. Pickett sent you? Why? Oh, I thought Pickett and him were like in the conspiracy together, but maybe the relationship isn't that lateral. Maybe Byron Pickett is kind of a boss or someone who bullies Lenny around. He said you could answer some questions. He frowns. What questions? You notice he looks rather tense. I had a skull stolen from me. I want it back. Do you know who would do such a thing? Perhaps you stole from Trist. I'm interested in learning the thieving art. Can you teach me? What can you tell me about this ward? Let's butter him up with the questions like this. He looks around, then shrugs. This is the lower ward, home of the common people. Life here isn't as desperate as it is in the hive, but not as good as in the clerk's ward. He looks around again. Other than that, there's not much to be said. He dropped both of his names, so let's ask about the hive. I guess you would call it the slum of the sigil. Lots of poor sorts there with no place to go other than the red book. He pauses. Nothing else to say about it. Okay. What can you tell me about the clerk's sword? He smiles. Name says it all, Burke. Clerks, and more clerks. If you want to push some papers around or have papers pushed at you, it's the place to go. He shrugs. Nothing else to say about it. I'm interested in the learning the thieving art. Can you teach me? You sure you want to give up your current profession and become a thief? No, let me think about it for a while. Okay. You see Lenny, he gives you a mock smile as you approach. Well, hello again, Burke. To what do I owe this pleasure? I need to ask a few questions. He's more smiling, frowns at you. No, I don't have an answer, and don't answer questions, Burke. I told you to go find it out. Now get. He glares at you. So the only way to get information out of him is if we drop Pickett's name. He said you could answer some questions. He frowns. I want to ask you about the papers you stole from Trist. I had a skull stolen from me and I want it back. Do you know who would do such a thing? He hesitated a moment and then relaxes slightly. You get the impression that he expected you to ask about something else. He smiles at you. Stolen skull, huh? Well, that'd be work of Lothar's boys, not me. I've heard of Lothar. I just need to find him. He frowns. Now, I don't know that I want to be the one to answer that question. He glares at you for a while, then shrugs. Ruined building just south of the siege tower. You can't miss it. He smiles evilly again. Siege Tower is here. We should go check out Siege Tower at some point, but probably we should check for Mort first. Let me quick save before we ask about Trist. He swallows hard and stares at you. You notice his muscles tense and it looks like he's ready to run. He puts one hand on his hip in a nonchalant manner, but you can tell he's wound tight as spring. I don't know what you're really talking about, Burke. You'd best be off. Smile wickedly. You know what I'm talking about, Lenny. Byron had you steal some papers from Trist. I'm here to collect them. Give me the papers you stole from Trist or I'll kill you. Bluff. Let's do this. He swallows hard and the corner of one eye starts to twitch. He glances at the scars that cover your body, then tries to meet your gaze, but cannot. Collect them. I destroyed the papers after I nicked them, just like Byron told me to. He finally meets your gaze. Really? Then why are you so nervous, Lenny? Let me guess. Byron thinks you destroyed the papers, but maybe you didn't. Maybe you kept them. A little blackmail material, perhaps? Wow. He stares at you for just a moment, then suddenly turns to run. I don't think we have the dexterity to... Just as he starts to run, you leap forward to grab him. He deftly steps out of your reach and begins to sidestep you. Seeing your quarry about to escape, you make another attempt. More desperate lunge at him. You fail to grab him, but you do manage to bump him hard, knocking him off balance. Your efforts foil his escape. Alright, I'll destroy them. I'll give them to you. Oh, alright, I didn't destroy them. I'll give them to you. Just let me go. Okay. Why do you keep them, Lenny? Blackmail, I assume? He snorts and gives you a defiant look. I kept them so I could turn stag on your boss Pickett and keep Trist off the block. Blackmail my... turn stag. Why turn stag on him? What is... I don't know what turn stag is. Yes, turn stag. He looks at you for a moment until he realizes you don't know what he means. I mean, so I was going to turn him in, betray him to the harmonium. Okay, why stag on him? Why turn stag on him? He looks at you with some pride. I may be a thief, but I do have some standards. I won't kill some poor sword, and I won't do what Pickett did to Trist and her husband. He shakes his head and looks away. I told your boss that what he was doing was wrong, and he laughed at me. Now we can drop the fact that he is not my boss. He stares at you in disbelief. You serious? I thought, but you said. He watches you closely for a moment, then laughs. You gave me the peel, so I would spill the chant to you. He shakes his head and looks at you with respect. Good job, Cutter. Okay. Let's go get the papers, Lenny. He shakes his sadly. We can't. They are in the warehouse and they are not open for business right now. Rumor has it there's some sort of management change going on, but I don't know if that's true. In any case, I can get the papers. He looks at you sheepishly. That's why I haven't helped Trist myself, Cutter. I can't get the sorting papers. I'll look into this and get the papers myself then. Right? He smiles at you. Go to the warehouse and tell clerk I'm here for a loan and he'll give you Trist papers. If you then tell him I give Pickett the laugh, he'll give you a bonus. What bonus? He laughs. Evidence, Cutter. It'll take Pickett off the streets for a long time if you give it to the right person. Okay, we know the harmonium officer who can do that. So Let's collect the evidence and give it to the officer. He thinks for a moment. If there's someone in the harmony you think you can trust, give it to them. All right, farewell. Oh, this Lenny was actually a nice person, considering. We had a quest for Guildspur where we tried to go into this print shop and deliver one of the letters to be printed. I think it should be in completed quests. Let's see. Oh wow, come on. Maybe it's at the top. Arena needs a friend. Oh, come on. Where is it? Is it not completed? There was a quest. At least I think it is a smaller quest. Like when Guildspur asks us to get something printed. I'd like to buy. Let's talk business. The handbill is printed. See, 6,000 experience. It's printed. Terrific. I knew you were the man for the job. Here, take this message to Kedor of Durian at the foundry. I'm sure he'll be glad to receive it. And you'll be glad of the 100 coins you get in return. All right, I have more. All right, thanks. And we could not get into the foundry. They didn't let us get into the foundry because we didn't have a good reason. That was something else that happened last episode. And we went into this print shop, which had a very I don't know if powerful is the right word. He can just wave us out of his, like, I tried to be, he's a very annoying person, okay? Like he speaks in a very pompous manner, like a very, dismissive manner. He won't even look up, and he's just like, just designed to be annoying. But if you go to talk to him, he'll just wave his hand. If you get annoyed at him, I even try to attack him, and once I try to attack him, he'll just wave his hand and we'll end up outside the building. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just the game just teasing us for being aggressive. So if I do something like this, he will oh wow, hey, what's happening? Okay, I think something weird happened. I don't know how, but I got these two to target me, and I think I took damage. Anyway, let's show. I had a few questions. Not really. Alright, it's fine. If you try to attack him, he'll wave us away. That's what I discovered last day. So if I do this, see, he waved us away, and now it's locked. See, door is locked. I don't want to get it locked, so let's do it proper way. Alright. So now we have a way into the foundry. And we also talked to this people in this warehouse, but we didn't really know what to say. They asked if we want to store something. No, we asked if we can store something. This is a warehouse where we can store a lot of things. Okay, basically, that's what they mentioned. This name is just it's not like it's just marketing term. Like it's a marketing embellishment, like Vault of the Ninth World. It's just a normal warehouse, and there's nothing else to it. We can talk to this person, and there isn't. Yeah, and again, Nameless One does this weird thing where he goes behind the counter unless we make him stand right here. Okay. I'd like to store, I'd like to claim. So if you say I'd like to store, he'll say that the service is like full at the moment. They say that they have something little fishy going on around here, and I don't know what. This is the matter is we don't really accept items for storage at the moment. There is something fishy going on here. Okay. Like to store or display ninth call. I like to claim something. I was told to tell you that I gave Pickett the laugh. I certainly hope so, sir. Whatever that means. I'm just a big dumb rockhead. Here are your papers, sir. Here. Thank you. What can I do for you? Nothing. Farewell. We at the Vault of the Ninth World value your business. Please return. Yeah, I'll bet. Okay, so if we check the inventory now, scroll of evidence and loan document. Did we get the scroll of evidence is the extra thing that we got. Okay, alright, so I don't think anything else is to be done here. These two people don't speak, and this woman is a supervisor. She speaks. And I don't remember what she said. Let's quickly go talk to her to see what she was saying, because I genuinely forgot what she said. Who are you? What is this place? I'm looking for a floating sarcastic skull. Have you seen it anywhere? Sorry, haven't seen one around. If you're looking for skulls, I'll try out the bone of night. Bones of the night. You look like you're into scars. Sure as hell. Sure as halos hate pit fiends. Lothar will decorate you with a few more. So Lothar is the master of bones. Who are you? I'm Lena. I supervise these other two. She waves a hand at her companions. What is it you do here? This is a storehouse. I'm the supervisor. Things get stored here. Things get taken out. She shrugs. Not much to tell, really. Everyone's saying that there is not much to say. Alright, let's get out. We can go to before going, let's open the journal and read the loan document. Loan document. This document shows that Triss loan from Byron Pickett was paid in full. Okay. Scroll of evidence. This is scroll listing the criminal activities of Byron Pickett. Great. So let's free Trist and then let's talk to I think his name was Creedon or something. I forgot. The harmonium officer. We'll go meet him. You see Triss, she smiles at you, smiles at your approach, and she looks hopeful. Have you found a document cutter? Can you free me? Yes, I'll give it to Daran and he will free you. Jesus, Daran is dead, I think. What's the lender's name? What do I talk? Who do I talk to? What contract? Okay. I'm a bit concerned here. Because I think Daran accidentally got killed during that conflict. Honestly, I think that's what happened. So I don't know where Daran is. Look of relief washes over her face. You think she's about to faint, but she quickly requests, thank you, Carter. Please return to me after you speak with Daran. How do we do that? Am I completely blocked out of this quest now? My god. Okay. I'll have to leave with it, I think. I don't not feeling it at the moment to reload the save before this incident happened and like go through. God damn it, that's just so annoying. This is a siege tower. This appears to be a siege tower. The walls are scarred and pitted. It has seen many battles, many a battle in its lifetime. Corvus. Let's talk to Corvus. You see a Corvus Harmonium guard. He smiles at your approach and gives you a slight bow. Hello, friend. I hope you're doing well. I have some questions. I want to talk to you about the merchant sack. Anything I know about that is Harmonium business. Further, please bring to your attention. I have evidence that we got this. I have evidence that proves he is involved in criminal acts here in Sigil. He looks at you with interest. Oh, may I see this evidence? Give him the papers. Let me think about this. Let me think about this. Let me open that again to check that note. Scroll listing the criminal activities of Baron Pickett. Right. I have some questions. Byron Pickett. Give him the papers. 2000, only 2000. Come on, he examines the papers thoroughly, then folds them and puts them away. He nods to you and smiles. Excellent work, citizen. These documents are quite detailed in their content. I personally will see to it that Baron Pickett is taken before the courts. He salutes you, then returns to leave. I shall return shortly. Alright. He soon returns and smiles at you. The deed is done. Pickett has been removed from the streets. The evidence has been presented to the courts, and soon he will stand trial. He gives you a slight blow. Once again, I thank you. My pleasure. I have some questions. Talk about... Oh, we can't talk about Lenny again. Okay, I was just going to ask about Lenny, but seems that that option is gone. So let's leave. We can go into Foundry, but I think we'll hold off on that because I feel like this is going to be a huge area to explore, and I want more beside me before I do anything else. So let me see if we can find more from this area. Wrecked house, coffin maker to the upper ward. This coffin maker has been mentioned in one of the previous conversations. I think it was maybe the one of the very early conversations we had with the woman named. Okay, I forgot her name, but she was this really tongue-in-cheek dust man or dust woman who had her belief kind of shaken recently after some events. So she was considering if she should continue as a dustman or not, and we met her in that the first bar that we went into. I think it was called Gathering Dust. Yeah. So we found her there, and it was a very entertaining and interesting conversation. I think she mentioned this coffin maker and said that the coffin maker's son has kind of run the business into the ground. The strange building appears to be a coffin maker's shop. The sign above the door has slogan "Engineered for Eternity" clearly written upon it. Okay, let's enter this facility. All right. Anna, Nameson, Dakon, Hamrys, Dimtree. Okay. A potted plant. It's in pretty good shape, but could use some water and just a bit of trim. This board contains various tools used in the art of coffin making. Okay. It's not clear if this is a tombstone or a headboard. Okay. A coffin is currently under construction on this table. This board contains various tools used in the... Okay. These shelves hold many bottles and vials. Most are filled with unidentified liquids and powders. Okay. So let's save and try to loot this person. Some commons. Bandages. We're definitely going to need all the bandages we can get. What is this? Silver bracelet. Okay, alright. Let's talk to Hamrys. You see a rugged-looking, square-jawed man. He turns to you with a wide smile. How are you, Cutter? Good day to you. Good day indeed. He squints at you for a second, then juts his hand out to shake yours. Shake his hand. Greetings. Hamrys at your service. Member of the Harmonium and the fashioner of fine coffins for the recently departed. I think I know you. Do I not? Let me see if I can place it. He pauses to think for a moment. Sharp with names I was in the Harmonium. Let me tell you, knew everyone on the entire ward. I have some questions. He nods that you ask away. He gives you a broad smile. I'm looking for someone named Lothar. Here your father died. Can you tell me what happened? So this is from that earlier conversation that I mentioned. Who's your friend here? Can you tell me about this ward? Yes, the lower ward. He leans forward as if explaining something to a small child. It's little known to most newcomers and even people in the ward. Most people think that this ward gets its name simply because it's not as prestigious as some of the other wards. But that's not it at all. Not at all. Do you know where the name comes from? He looks at you expectantly. I don't care what his name. Can you tell me what there is to see in this ward? From all the lower plane portals? He nods, though he seems a little disappointed. Yes, that you know. Yes, indeed. These portals to the lower planes are actually the reason for the smoke in the skies here. He glanced upwards as if imagining a sky above your heads, but I'm sure that you are already aware of the conditions that plague this ward. Yet, some other questions. Okay, no, I don't know where it's because of the portals to the lower planes. They are the reason behind all the smoke that fills the area, bleaching out noxious gas and all, belching out noxious gases and all. Fortunately, winds from the spire help to blow away the worst of the mist, but it can bring others in the ward. It can bring others in the ward with much meeker constitution down and fill them full of sickness. Shakes his head sadly. Fortunately, my harmonium training has prepared me for all sorts of hazardous conditions, and after my travels to the lower planes, the smoke of this ward is little to bear indeed. What is there to see in this ward? He smiles broadly. A great deal, a great deal. Where to start? If we were to step past all the kilns, forges, breweries, and distilleries scattered amongst the many garbage fires, not to mention the alchemist's den, the crematoriums, meat curing houses, and the charcoal burners, and examine the ward itself as a whole, one could say, well, there's a foundry, the siege tower, and he begins to falter and stops to think. Okay, these are two areas of interest. I think everyone has mentioned that these two are the main attractions here, other than maybe the open air market. Tell me about the foundry. The Great Foundry is a headquarters of the believers of the Source, also known as the laymen, also known to some of the laymen as Godsmen, because of their belief that everyone can achieve divinity. He shakes his head. The Great Foundry is much like their philosophy, a large, sprawling structure that seems to produce nothing but smoke. Much like their philosophy. He laughs. I mean, when was the last time you saw one of the believers of the Source suddenly become a power? Not any time in the faction's history. Tell me about the Godsman. Actually, friend, Godsman is a term, layman's term for the faction. The real name of the organization is actually the Believers of the Source. They hold an interesting, if ultimately flawed philosophy. They believe that everyone has the capability of aspiring to divine status simply by applying themselves. He shakes his head intelligently as he pauses to think. Go on. As my tour of duty with the Harmonium quickly proved, there are many who could never aspire to divinity, no matter how long they sought it or applied themselves. He scoffs. Nonetheless, the believers of the source work quite hard, he shrugs, and their little faction is pleasant enough. Tell me about the Siege Tower. Maybe we can ask about this first. He smiles at you, eager to talk. Well, certainly, friend. I can tell you a little about the Harmonium, the Mercy Killers, or the Governors. Which should I start with? You know, this is the best opportunity because I'm so confused about the distinction between Mercy Killers and Harmonium. They both seem to be some sort of peacekeeping organization, either in official capacity or not. Maybe Harmonium is like not official and Mercy Killers is like official sigil. I don't know. I think the lady is only associated with Dabasus, right? She's the one controlling Dabasus, but I don't know if she has direct control of Mercy Killers. I think we'll get these answers now. The Harmonium. He stands proudly. The primary faction of Sigil is, of course, the Harmonium. We are the faction dedicated to preserving law and order in Sigil, and there is no other more important function. Progress can only be achieved in a state of peace and harmony. There are those that think otherwise, but they don't have our resolve, and thus they shall fail. Peace and harmony. Preserving law and order. Okay. What about the Mercy Killers? He smiles. The Mercy Killers stands for justice. To them, justice is everything. It's absolute and perfect. They dedicate their lives to dispensing justice. But it must be done correctly, according to the law. They firmly believe that by imposing justice on the multiverse, it can be cleansed of evil and made perfect. So, Harmonium promotes harmony. But they have this like huge imposing guards with like large weapons. They look more imposing, and their attitude towards people are also kind of I don't know, indifferent at best. So I don't know if it's everyone's taken in with the Harmonium philosophy. Mercy Killers, they are all about justice, so they can be a bit more brutal, but Harmonium, at least in principle, should be a bit more friendly to people, right? I don't know. Tell me about another faction. Let's ask about this one, the Governors. He notes knowingly the Fraternity of the Order is their proper faction name. They are dedicated to law and knowledge. They spend most of their time simply researching every aspect of law. Now, I'm not talking about just man-made laws. No, their search goes much deeper. They want to know how and why behind everything. Because of their devotion to law, they also run the courts of sigil and act as lawyers, judges, advocates, and such. Tell me about another faction. There's some other questions. What can you tell me about the city of Sigil? Sigil, he lets out a long breath. Sigil is a city at the center of all things, or so many believe. It's a city of the doors. There are literally thousands of portals here. It's the home to the Lady of Pain herself, he shrugs. Sigil is a topic that you can fill volumes and volumes of volumes. Volumes and volumes of volumes. Tell me about the Lady of Pain. The Lady of Pain. Hamrys leans in and drops his voice slightly. One of the multiverse's greatest mysteries, everyone will agree. I think she's proved beyond doubt's shadow that females are the most dangerous creatures in the multiverse. He sighs. Go on. Some say she's a goddess, a power that's made Sigil her home. The truth is, she breaks the law of every power I have encountered. Powers need worshippers. Gives them their power. But Lady doesn't like to be worshipped. People who do end up in her shadow, their flesh torn apart by invisible blades. People who do end up in her shadow, their flesh torn apart by invisible blades. Now, I've seen some horrible things in my life, things that would make another man's knees go weak and make him lose control of his vitals. Doesn't even compare to seeing one of the lady's victims. Interesting. What else can you tell me? Next is, she don't talk to people who try and play God in Sigil. She don't take to people. See, you may know this, but first off, no powers can enter Sigil. Not Zeus, not Ra, no one. Very sad lady's presence somehow keeps them out. Can't get in. Not a one. And that twists their stems like you wouldn't believe. Sigil such a sweet fruit and anyone would want to pluck. that the other powers are always looking for some way into Sigil. They haven't succeeded. We have one worshipper of Eos car still in here. Go on. Well, it goes beyond that. Not only does the lady keep them out, she keeps anybody inside the city from harming it. Certainly, she has help from our faction, the Harmonium, since we like order. But every once in a while, a foolish basher takes it to their head to start fighting on the streets of the city. Maybe decide to kill a few dabbers, brew up some sort of chaos, or start casting mass destruction spells. Not a good thing. Makes a lady upset. Doesn't like to see her city hurt. She'll kill you or mace you for doing such things. Mace you. You haven't heard of the maces? He looks at you condescendingly. You are green. The lady's got extra dimensional presence she can place special offenders in. You see, she takes little bits of sigil, shapes them into maces, then cuts them off from the sigil. You'll be walking home one night, or be stepping through an archway near your home, and suddenly everything changes. You won't be in a place you remember. You'll be trapped. Chant is that there is one way to get out of each maze, but you'll be dead and gone before you tumble onto the dark of how to escape. Has some questions. He nods at you. Ask away. You mentioned portals. Do you know of any? He laughs. Portals? Do I know of any? Do I know about portals? He poses. Well, none personally, except some of the more common ones. I imagine they can be found in practically every ward. Portals are funny things. Sometimes they shift around. At other times they simply seem to vanish. They had to keep track of. He shrugs. Okay. Who's the front here? He glances at the customer. Dimtree? He shrugs like he hadn't considered the fellow before. Quite doesn't say much. Do you, Dimtree? Dimtree doesn't respond but simply gives the same blank expression. A few seconds later, he nods. Hamrys shrugs, turns back to you. Wandered in one day a few weeks back, been a regular ever since. He hasn't bought anything, but he doesn't cause any trouble, so I let him stay. He seems harmless enough. You see, when I was serving the Harmonium, part of our work was to take people under our wing, give them a little shelter from the chaos of the streets, get them spruced up. Maybe it's just that habit returning to him, so he doesn't mind people like wandering in, like making. Is he standing there doing nothing? I thought they were having a conversation. Sorry. I'm looking for someone named Lothar, Master of Bones. He frowns deeply in thought. Can't say I've ever heard of the fellow. Master of Bones, you said? Catchy title that. He's just beside your little shack. You should know about him. Can't say that I've ever heard of the fellow. Master of the Bones, you said? Catchy title that. He smiles. In a way, I guess you could say that my titles as well. That's my title as well. Dealing with the corpses as much as I do. Now, I know that most of them are covered in flesh, but there have been plenty of times when I've had to make a coffin just for bones. There was this one fellow that had his bones picked clean by something. Never did find out by what. Interrupt. I have some more questions. Interrupt. He keeps on going, so we are getting impatient. He notes that you ask away. Let's back out and save before talking about his father. I don't want to trigger some horrible response. You see a tall, slender man with a glassy-eyed expression. He seems engrossed in some tale that shopkeeper is relating. Oh, they are not having a conversation. This Hamrys is using Dimtree as his proxy conversation partner. He needs someone to talk to. He seems engrossed in some tale that the shopkeeper is relating. Occasionally he nods his head but makes no comment of his own. Greetings. The man turns slightly at your greeting, just enough to acknowledge your presence. You notice that he's a little pale of complexion and rather gaunt looking. He's giving you a blank stare. The shopkeeper does not seem to notice any of this and continues his stream of useless prattle. We would have gotten a warning if we interacted with Dimtree first, if you were talking to him. Are you alright? The man continues to stare at you and slowly nods. You wait for any further response, but he says nothing, only stares. You are about to turn away in frustration when you notice a strange, musty odor about the man. Step closer and sniff. You lean in and sniff at the man, unsure what you will find. As you do, a musty odor fills your senses, an odor you recognize from your time in the mortuary. It's a smell of dead flesh preserved by magic. Is this a zombie? You're a zombie, aren't you? The creature continues to stare at you blankly. Slowly, as if with great effort, it begins to reply to you. Only your speak with dead power makes him understandable. Yes, I am Dimtree. Why are you here, Dimtree? Dimitri slowly glances at the shopkeeper and makes a feeble gesture towards him. Seeing this as a sign of interest, shopkeeper redoubles his efforts in telling whatever tale he is relating to the poor creature. Oh my god. Dimitri looks at you again. Hamrys, he talks. Hamrys never stops. Wanders down. Annoys master. Annoys everyone. Master create Dimitri. Tells Dimitri talk Hamrys. Now Hamrys stay in shop. Master happy, town happy. Dimitri sad. Oh my god. This is the best. Is there anything I can do to help you, Dimitri? Some questions, sorry. The creature pauses and resumes his slow speech with you. You can almost detect a pleading tone in his voice. Yes, fine, Master Sebastian. Ask him to release me, please. I assume that it would be Sebastian, like anyone who has this kind of power here. He turns his attention to Hamrys momentarily. Please. Why don't I just put you out of your mystery? I don't know. I think about some questions. The creature gives you a barely perceptible shrug of shoulders. No, nothing. Dimitri summoned by Master. No darkness, peace, rust. Then Hamrys. Sorry, help you if could. Oh my god. Even the zombie is becoming alive at how annoying this person is. I see. Farewell then. This is really fun. Oh my god. That was so fun. In the market for a coffee net? Okay, maybe we can just talk to Hamrys about his father and like his enthusiasm will die. I hear your father died. Can you tell me what happened? You talked him to death? He frowns at you. Well, he disappeared some time ago, so I can only assume that he's dead. Where did you hear this? I don't recall. You say he disappeared? He nods. Oh yes, many years ago. My father was a talented stonemason and he did not only construct sarcophagi, but he was also quite skilled in tomb design. People from across Sigil, the room begins to fade around you as your memory tugs at your consciousness. Holy shit. Okay. Relax and try to remember.
Updated my journal.
You find yourself standing in this very shop, talking with an older man with a child, while a child sits in the corner and plays. On the counter between you and the shopkeeper, it's a set of plans. He seems to be explaining some intricacies with the construction of a tomb. Your vision fades as you try to examine the details of the plans. Continue. When your sight returns, you're standing in a cavern in front of a tomb. Okay? In front of a tomb. Above the entry, you see the slogan, Engineered for Eternity, clearly carved in stone. Shopkeeper is standing next to you, a broad smile on his face. He gestures to you and begins to walk into the tomb. You quickly match his face from behind and draw your blade. Continue. You find yourself back in Hamrys' shop. He's looking at you with some concern. Are you well, sir? So I don't know if it's a cavern. Maybe it is talking about the Weeping Stone catacombs, but not Weeping Stone. I think it was Weeping Stone. But yeah, one of the entries in the catacombs mentioned that even though we built that place, he killed me or something like that. Maybe it was written by the tombs. I don't know. The cavern is confusing. I thought that the other place was like a catacomb structure. Cavern is more natural formation, right? So maybe it was this person that we killed after he created our tomb. Also, we don't remember reading this in front of the tomb that we already discovered. So maybe it's a different tomb that we'll discover later, which is also going to be our journal, I guess. I don't know. So after we got him to construct the tomb, we killed him off, and this was like many years ago. This person, who is a fully grown adult now, was a child at that point. So we have been here for quite a long time, presumably. Tell me what happened to your father. He simply vanished one day, leaving most of his commissions unfinished. Most embarrassingly, took a long while to get out of the debt because caused by his disappearance. And to an extent, I am still settling various accounts. Still, I have a certain aptitude for work. And he sighs lightly and gets a faraway look in his eyes. Go on. He shrugs. Sorry, I was just thinking. My father's disappearance was the reason I joined the harmonium and left it later on. At first, I had a burning desire to find out what happened to him. Later, I felt a certain obligation to continue his life's work. He sighs. I never found the answers I sought. It is quite a mystery as to what happened. His voice fades to silence. So at first he was enthusiastic to find out the killer or like whatever happened to his father. But after a while he kind of resigned back into a different line of thought, like that he should continue his father's legacy rather than like chasing this as an obsession. Did your father keep any of the plans for the tombs he built? He thinks for a moment. Yes, he did. After I came of age and inherited the business, I went through all of his records. They were quite extensive. He thinks for a moment. Yes, he did. After I came of age and inherited the business, I went through all of his records. They were quite extensive. Why do you ask? If I describe a tomb to you, could you tell me if it was your father's work? He frowns in thought, then shrugs. I can but try. My harmonium training has blessed me with sharp memory. I should be able to recognize my father's work if you give me enough details. He looks at you expectantly. Describe the tomb from your memory. He thinks for some time. There is little doubt that the tomb that you describe is the doubt that the tomb you describe is my father's work. The slogan you mentioned has been the family trademark for several generations. He pauses and gives you a strange look. This tomb, where is it located? Describe the location. You describe the location details, surprising yourself with the knowledge you have of the area. Hamrys watches you with a concerned look. Odd. I don't recall anything in the family records that would even have permitted him to construct a tomb there. The Desmond are very careful about building rights and real estate, especially beneath the streets of Sigil. Then you recognize location? He nods enthusiastically. Oh, yes, sounds like the drowned nation's catacombs to me. He pauses. I have never been there myself, but I have heard the area described many a time in my years in the Harmonium. I've never been there myself, but I've heard the area described many times in my years in the Harmonium. I need to know if your father kept the plans for that tomb. We know the... Okay, maybe there is even more secrets in that tomb. You think? Once we get the plans, maybe we can revisit there and discover even more. We should like constantly try and go back there to see what those readings, those inscriptions meant. At least one of them was written by this Smith, I guess. But we killed him, right? If we killed him, he could not have been scared about it and made the inscription. So that's a bit confusing. I don't know if your father kept the plans for the tomb. Yes, the warehouse where I store my goods handles my business documents as well. Anyway, they're having internal problems of some sort, new management or some such nonsense. I haven't been able to replenish my stock of late. I doubt I could retrieve any paperwork from there either. He frowns. The Harmonium would never let things get so out of hand as to cause distress to its customers. His voice fades away and as he thinks, and he looks at you. Perhaps you would look into the matter for me? The warehouse? Yes, the warehouse is having some internal problems of some sort. Whatever that means. I can't get any stock from them until the matter is cleared up. He frowns. The Harmonium would never. His voice fades as he thinks, and he looks at you. Did he just say the same thing again? I spent all that effort reading it properly, and it's the same sentence. I guess I don't have a choice if I want the plans. I'll do it. He smiles broadly. Excellent. If you deal with this issue satisfactorily, you may have your plans for free. He gets that lecture look on his face again. That may not seem like sufficient payment, but let me tell you about the difficulty involved in creating those plans. He's such a talker. No, thank you. I'll just get started on this right away. We are just immediately backing out of the conversation. Farewell. All right. So, okay. So we have another reason to go back into the warehouse and try to sort things out there. We also have an in into the foundry. And this shop that's just out in the side. This has to be one of the finest coffins I've ever put together, right? Dimtree? Alright. Get out. Yeah, so this is very commendable in the sense every time some really critical or like revelatory information has come, like it has formed in our like brain. It was never from a source that we expected. Like every time it's from some throwaway person somewhere in the corner or like some place we don't expect. Like Requin gave us a lot of info on things, and then there was that barking dog maniac who had like this premonition or like a vision of where our journals are. One of them we already found. Another one is somewhere near a senate or something, I think. That's what the barking dog mentioned. I think we can find it in our journal if he's sensate, I think. Another was in a cupboard in my guest room in the Hall of Sensates. Tomb sealed deep beneath the city where the stones weep. So that is one we discovered. And that one was probably created by this coffin maker. And then we killed him after that tomb was made. And yeah, I thought that this is going to be like a side quest with no consequence. We go into this place and then we have this like information about this like such interesting information that we didn't expect to get it from here. They're always focusing on like Siege Tower and these three buildings, right? So I'm thinking that everything else is like unnecessary stuff. Not unnecessary, it's like side content stuff is scattered about. Then we come here and we discover all this. Okay, we should try to stick to our plan. We'll maybe play for another 10 to 20 minutes before calling it a day. So let's go in. Oh wow. We haven't seen many colors in this game, so it's shocking to see that. This unusual window allows some light to filter into the room. It casts strange colored shadows across the walls and floor. Whatever purpose these barrels once served, they are now just flotsam strewn about the room. What's flotsam? I've heard that term. I don't exactly remember what it means. Floating wreckage of a ship. Okay, it's like ship wreckage. This appears to be a ladder constructed from the bones of many creatures. Okay, we have reached that ladder. We'll save and descend. Wow, look at the skulls. We have seen one of these things in our like. I think definitely did see it in our opening cinematic. We have seen it somewhere at least. I think it was in the opening cinematic at least. Thank the powers you are here. Shelf of skulls. Chief, get me out of here. What are you doing up there? Why? Those Verrat vermin nicked me and brought me here. Come on, boss. We gotta get out of here. This place is bad news. Why don't you just float down? I don't know. You look cozy up there. I don't want to push him like this. Is just like. Stop joking around, boss. We have to get out of here before. Oh, God. Lothar has appeared. A flash of light and smoke blinds you for a moment, and a withered old man stands before you. Have we visitors, Skull? Oh no, Maud whispers furiously to you. Do not offend this blood, boss. He'll deadbook you faster than you can spit. The old man ignores Maud. Greetings, traveler. Who might you be to enter Lothar's humble salon without invitation? I thought this was going to be a place filled with his goons, but it's just him and his skulls. You kidnapped my friend. Give him back. Okay, let's be cordial. Ah, yes, what might that be? A skull that belongs to me is on that shelf. My friend, more, wound up on your shelf. You want a chattering skull with half the grace and manners of any ordinary creature? Give me a greater skull in return if you wish it back. Lothar replies, I do not need to bargain for something that is already mine. He was never yours, or anyone's to begin with. Your ignorance is astonishing. You truly know very little about very little. You truly know very little about very little. That's fine, right? Now, fetch me another skull to replace him, or say farewell to your friend. Fine then, how do I get a skull that's worth what he's worth? Move aside the Deviant in the center of the room and pass through the portal on the eastern wall in the chamber below to the catacombs. The portal will remain active for your return. In the catacombs, many skulls. One of the great value lies within the interred crypts of the Dustmen beyond the drowned nations. Bring that skull to me, as my Verrat minion have failed to do, and I will see to it that your friend is returned to you. Perhaps I shall even answer some of your questions. I've been to the tomb you speak of. It's empty. What assurance do I have to keep in mind? It is empty. What is the meaning of this? The tomb was so well trapped, so well defended from scurrying magics, that it was a challenge even for me. There must be some explanation for this. And he draws out his words angrily and slowly. You will provide it to me. Go through the portal in the chambers below and seek the answer. I believe it was a trap to discourage the grave robbers. I don't know what specific. Okay, it was my own tomb. Your tomb? Your tomb? He eyes you carefully. We shall investigate this more carefully. Fetch me another skull. Then, as you seem attached to yours, and we shall see what answers I can provide. Our agreement shall be as before. Do not try to deceive me with any bone either. I am something of a connoisseur. Return when you have something of value to me. Very well, farewell. We can level up some of these characters. Let's do that. Stealth. Pickpockets. Alright, I'm not thinking too much. Just intelligence, wisdom, constitution. Let's get more intelligence. I don't know. We should try to get some more dexterity, but I don't know if this incremental upgrade will do anything. Do we need more charisma? Maybe more wisdom. Except. Okay. All right. Let's return. Let's look at the journal. I want to know what happened here. Lothar has assigned me to find another skull to replace the one that could not have been trapped in my tomb. Lothar told me to move aside the deviant in the center of the room to reveal a passageway leading to the caverns below his house. Once there, I am to pass into the catacombs and find a tomb beyond the drowned nations. In that tomb, there's a skull of great value. Once I bring this to him, he will return more to me. So the thing is, we could have retrieved the bronze orb. I think this is how it happens, right? We could have retrieved the bronze orb and we could have skipped our tomb entirely, went back to Farod, came all the way here without ever encountering the tomb. Is that a possibility? Because this is like an optional thing, right? There was no objective to go into the tomb. We went in there and we discovered a bunch of things about ourselves. That was a completely side thing. Like it was an optional thing, and we could have just taken the bronze orb, returned to Farod, and then went through this whole place without ever discovering the tomb location. And then it also makes sense that like the coffin keeper that we talked to also did the same thing. And I think maybe here at this point they're forcing us to go into the tomb and we discover the journal at this point. Like the game won't let us skip it past this point. Like we could have discovered it earlier and we did discover it, but I mean it's obviously like right beside the bronze orb, so it makes sense to go in there. But yeah, maybe if somehow we missed that, like game is forcing us to go into the journal room again, like the tomb again. Maybe that's what's happening. Let's see. What the hell? Bonds of the night. Oh, I thought this was going to be a small room when he mentioned that. Okay.
I'm gone.
Strangely shaped skull emits a high-pitched chitter before it speaks to you. Can I help you? You know what? Let's stop here. I know it's a bit shorter than an hour, but we'll stop here and we'll explore this room and the rest of it. And I guess this is the place where we can go to. There's a lot to explore here. So before going in here, I think I would rather talk to everyone here and then go in here and do whatever Lothar needs us to do. Or maybe we can just kill Lothar if he allows us to and then take the bonds. I think that option is there for in this game. So let's see, because he seems like a bad guy. Maybe we should just get rid of him, but not now. We'll do it next time. Yeah. So that's it for today. Let's do a proper save and then call it a night.